Well, it's been exactly 30 days after the tragic Air India crash that claimed the lives of over 260 people. The Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau has released its preliminary report regarding the cause of the disaster, and this 15-page report focuses on a critical aspect. The fuel supply to the engine was cut off immediately after takeoff. Now, according to the report, the pilots attempted to restart and to revive the engines. One engine did partially recover, while the other one did not sustain. And what has now been interesting has been the conversation that was recorded between the two pilots. It has not been specified who was speaking, but at the point as we speak of this preliminary report at the AAIB, the pilot asking the other one that why did he press the fuel cutoff switches to happen as far as in the time gap of 1 or 2 seconds is concerned. The other one, however, denied. The report that mentions that the other pilot responded by saying that I did not. Now the report further indicates that moments later, the one engine's core deceleration stopped and began to recover. However, the other engine could not stop decelerating despite repeated attempts to reintroduce fuel in order to increase core speed and to facilitate recovery. By the time it was too late. The report, however, also rules out the other aspects that were said to be speculated behind the factors that may have contributed to the air crash, saying that the report states that the pilots had adequate rest period before operating the flight and that the crew underwent a pre-flight breath analyzer test as well, which found them to be fit for duty. That means all the required protocols were also followed. Let's in the meantime continue speaking to our guest as well, where John Gradek continues to be with us, and so is Captain Meenu Wadia. But before we get a focus from the experts as well, let's get in a word from Sabyasachi, our colleague and reporter who's been getting us these reports from the ground as well, because a month-long investigation, of course, several directives that have also been issued by the DGCA. There has been review meetings that have also been taking place. What are we looking at as far as when it comes to the final report is now concerned, Sabyasachi, because this is a preliminary report coming out exactly a month after the tragedy?
Well, that's right. See, in the preliminary report itself, the AIB has not clearly mentioned whether it was because of some technical fault or because of human error. For that, we have to wait for the final report, which will be coming in a matter of 5 to 6 months. Now, that is the very reason why the AIB has said that the investigation is ongoing. There are other evidences which need to be evaluated, as well as they have sought details from the stakeholders in this matter. But one important point which has been mentioned in the preliminary report by the AIB, stating that since December 2023, the inspection of the fuel control switch, which has been carried out by the AIB, and also they have sought the documents of that particular flight, the AIB has not found any sort of error. So that clearly says that from the maintenance point of view, the flight was in a right condition, and that is the reason why we had seen in the past that immediately after the fatal accident, the DGCA has ordered a scrutiny check of all the 7878 fleet here in India, and all of them have been given a clean sheet stating that there is no error.
There, who's been given a clean sheet already? As far as the findings in this report is concerned, of course, a quite detailed one with pictures that are also being shared along with the data and the airworthiness of the aircraft itself. But accountability, however, here needs to be fixed. Those over 260 lives that were lost, at what cost? Because there needs to be consequences as far as when it comes to what led to this catastrophe, what led to this tragedy should not happen anytime in the future. Let's put that out as far as when it comes to the probe report is concerned and what has been the findings so far. Let's put that out in perspective, because these are actually, when it comes to 15-page report, let's summarize when it's been to the findings that has now been said in this 15-page report. One of the findings that mentions that the plane destroyed due to impact with the buildings on ground, well, that was visible. At least 5 of the buildings, according to the report, down below, right outside the airport wall periphery, were damaged. Now, emergency locator transmitter in the plane wasn't activated. This is something that the concern by the experts are also being raised. Another finding suggests that the landing gear lever was found to be in the down position. Another finding note also talks about the thrust levers remain forward, the takeoff thrust until the impact, and the fuel supply to the engines that was cut off. this is said to be, as far as what is now being said to be the possible cause of the aircraft when it comes to the report, the preliminary report that has been said by the AAIB. One of the pilots, upon realizing that there is no fuel that is reaching the engines, asked the other pilot, asking that, did you do it? The other one, however, responded saying that I did not press the fuel cutoff switches. However, that was then very little time for them to actually realize what happened wrong, but all of the other factors that were being said that could have contributed to the plane crash, whether be it bad weather, bird activity, dangerous goods on board, the plane being overboard, all of that has now been ruled out. Now what is being said that the plane, however, began losing altitude before clearing the airport perimeter. So right after it crossed the airport, the wall, it came down rapidly, losing its height, and then crashed seconds later. The fuel cutoff, that transition to run, because this seems to be the attempts that was being done by the pilots in a hurry to revive both of the engines. However, the engine 1 code deceleration that stopped, that began to recover, but what is being said that in the attempt to revive engine 2, that could not sustain. Engine 2 reintroduced fuel repeatedly to boost acceleration, and that about 1:39 p.m. one of the pilots then transmitted the emergency call to the ATC saying mayday, 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 and that is when everything goes silent. The ATC, however, inquired about the call sign but did not get any response, and this has been as far as the findings in the preliminary report now is concerned. One of the talking points, however, it is what really differentiates when we talk about an advisory or something now that is made mandatory. Was it overlooked? Because the FAA's advisory is now concerned, this goes back to 2018, inspecting the lock feature of the fuel switch to ensure that there is a engagement and also to check whether the switch can be moved without lifting up the switch. Now what is being said, this is a manual feature. If yes, locking feature is disengaged and the switch must be replaced, and that is now been said as far as when it comes to the factors that was highlighted in its report, in its advisory rather, back in December 2018. Was the advisory overlooked? Was regular and required inspections not carried out? Now the probe report suggests that the inspections were not carried out by Air India, and the FAA special bulletin was an advisory and not a mandatory that required as far as the airline to continue with its inspection and to fix the problem. Now throttle control module that was replaced in 2019 and 2023. Reason for the replacement, however, is said to be not linked to the fuel control switch, and what is being said that there was no defect that was reported on this plane to fuel switch since 2023. So if the plane was airworthy and it had completed its flight to Delhi before it landed in Ahmedabad, Captain Wadia, what do you make of these features are concerned? If it was corrected or was it overlooked that may have led to this tragedy?
Look, we are putting too much focus on your assessment, which may misguide the audience, that the pilots handled the switches and that could have led to the engine failure. That is not true at all. First of all, in an emergency like that, immediately after takeoff, there is no question of the pilots even touching the fuel shutoff switches at all. The engines have been switched off because of fuel starvation. What has led to it has to be determined. However, to revive the engines, after realizing the engines had failed, the pilots tried to put the fuel switches on and off. So it is the other way around. It is not because the pilots touched the switches that the engines failed. It is the other way around. To revive it is what has actually happened. Now, as far as why the engines have failed, has to be the AIIB also has not referred to any sabotage because there's no clear evidence to it. However, why would the system is so elaborate that there are a lot of software which goes into the system of fuels injection into the engine. So something could have gone malfunction, or I do not rule out the possibility of sabotage also. So that is the main issue which needs to be found out.
Yes, Captain Wadia, I agree with you, because we are not pinpointing exactly what have happened. We are not trying to find any scapegoats here. We want to try as far as when it comes to fixing accountability is concerned, because what is being said by our experts as well, as far as what is now being detailed out in this AIIB report, raises further more questions, exactly what they are have been saying that there are certain areas which does not match when it comes to the timeline that has been mentioned, and of course the conversation that happened between the two pilots. But also we need to focus out what the probe so far has ruled out. Earlier assessment that was being made of the plane crash could have also said to be one of the report that suggested that there could be a possibility of fuel contamination. That has now been ruled out in the preliminary report, saying that the fuel samples taken from the Bowsers tested and found to be satisfactory. Then the other question that was raised over the misconfiguration of the flaps as well, that too has been ruled out in the AIB preliminary report, saying that the flap handle in the 5-degree position, that was consistent with the normal takeoff, so everything was fine till here. Then there was another possibility that also mentioned if there was a possibility of a bird strike. However, it says that there was no significant bird activity that was observed in the vicinity of the flight path. Another question that was raised a month ago that suggested that probably the weight of the aircraft was too much to handle. The takeoff weight, however, has pointed out when it comes to the kgs there within, which is said to be the permissible limits as well. Was there a thrust problem? Well, however, when it comes to the flight data, that has been revealing that the thrust levers also remained forward until the impact. Now this is being said it was a routine takeoff that had happened. But what exactly led when it comes to the fuel supply being cut off to the engines? John, this has been a factor that still remains as far as the question now that we are talking about. We are not here pinpointing anybody or trying to find any scapegoats. We want to analyze so that such kind of tragedies do not happen in the near future. And to where and to whom does the accountability now lie in your eyes, John?
Yeah, I think that, I don't want to have anybody, take words and kind of misinterpret what I was saying. I was just saying that the cutoff switches were in the run position through the takeoff roll. So there was no fuel starvation on takeoff. The aircraft did achieve 180 knots and was in fact airborne. Sometime around that time of being airborne, fuel switches went to a cutoff mode. How that happened, we don't know. We know the pilots had a conversation about those switches 12 seconds after liftoff. The question we have to ask ourselves, which will be part of the AIB study, is how did those switches go from run to cutoff, immediately after takeoff? And that is the issue that I think the AIB is going to be looking at over the next few months as it analyzes the activities of that cockpit and the recording of the activities going on in that cockpit. So I don't think there's any question about putting blame or putting responsibilities. It is way too early. The AIB was just a statement of fact of what they found in reviewing the data on the data recorders. So that switch stopped running at a point in time, and the question now is going to be, why did those switches go from run to cutoff?
Absolutely, and that question still remains. How did the fuel switches then change position? Which pilot asked whether the engine was cut off and who did it? Why did the fuel supply to the engine stop? All of these questions still remain as per the detailed AIB report. However, it does continue to mention that the investigation is still ongoing. We continue with our comprehensive coverage back after a short break.